You know, when books do this, it stresses me out because we've gone through all of this and we're happy and we're in love, but there's still this. Like, what is that? What is that? What is that? Hey people of the World Wide Web, my name is Kat and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, as you can tell by the title, we are talking about books. Books that I have read and books that are on my TBR list. So let's get into it. There's some tropes in romance novels that I really love. Friends to lovers, office romance, secret billionaires, secret dating. This book specifically has the second chance trope. So you have Evie, who is a single mother and an author of a famous vampire romance novel. And then there's Shane, who's also an author, and Shane and Evie have history. A lot of things go on in the book, but the one thing, two things actually, that I would say I really enjoy about this book. Number one is that it's blackety black.
This is blackety black.
And second thing is that it's set in New York. Like, there is nothing like having a character in a book watch Insecure. What? I relate. Plus, what I loved about it is that it didn't focus on the black struggle. The thing is now, which can be very sad, is that most people think in order to get a black story, they have to focus on the black struggle, such as racism, slavery, police brutality. Not saying that you shouldn't focus or even listen to those stories, but there's more to black people than just struggling. Like, we deal with regular things like dating, relationship, career, finding our identity. So the fact that this book deals with that and not focusing on the black struggle, it was a nice read. Having a romance novel where I don't have to imagine where the character is black, it was very nice. Plus, it came very highly recommended on my Booktok. So to give a bit of background information about Ellie Wong, she is a comedian. You may know her from her movie Always Be My Maybe, and she also has a comedy special on Netflix. And she's just so funny. Like, there's really no other words to put it. She's so funny. She wrote this book specifically for her daughters, like as a survival guide on like different topics for like career, relationships, finding your identity, like especially with being an Asian American woman, because like there's not a lot of books out there written about people of color. Let me not say that, they're actually beginning to rise. Like, this is the rise era of a lot of diverse authors. In fact, last year I made it a goal for myself to read more books from diverse authors. So whether they were black, white, Asian, whatever the case may be, I just wanted to read about your experience so that I, as a human, can have a more understanding on different people's cultures and different experiences and all that. This book was so funny. Like, there was actually a point I had to put it down and actually breathe because I was crying from laughter. Like, she's so funny. And also, not to think of it, black and Asian people, yes, we're very different, but also same WhatsApp group. Like, every time she would explain a scenario that this happened to her, and it's like you have an uncle that does this, or an auntie that does this, or your mom does that, and you're like, you too? Oh my gosh, we're not so different. Like, even the one that hit me the most is when like you have at school, like you would take your well-known like home cuisine or food as for lunch because like it was leftovers. And then specifically when you go to a predominantly white school and you have the white kids make fun of the food and saying, it smells, and then now today it is seen as a cuisine. Like, oh my gosh, have you had this type of food? And it's like, girl, babe, highly recommended. Such a good book. Please read it. A friend introduced me to Colleen Hoover about 2 years ago, and I read It Ends With Us. You? Like, I've almost finished reading majority of her books, but I have to take breaks in between because Colleen gives me emotional damage.
Emotional damage!
Despite it being a romance novel, the one thing I give her credit for is that she is really good at storytelling. So this book specifically is about Ben and Fallon. They spend the whole day together, they connect. But the thing is now, they're both not in a place to be in a relationship. So they come up with this arrangement that they're going to meet each other every year for 5 years on November 9th. Like, they take it seriously to the point where they don't save each other's numbers, they don't follow each other on social media. Heck, they blocked each other on social media so that they can focus on their life and their goals. And one hell of a plot twist.
Emotional damage!
The friend who was saying, I have to read this book. The amount of times I called her because something would happen and I would call and it's like, Brenda, I don't know if I can continue with this. She's like, no, finish, please. But it's like, I had to take breaks in between. It was too much. But at the same time, the book was so good, I couldn't even put it down. You know, Pauline Hoover's books in general, top tier, amazing. Read them, but read November 9th, please. Selena Quintanilla Perez was like a famous Tejano singer back in the 90s. Unfortunately, her life was cut short when she passed in 95. She was only 22, 23 years old, but she achieved so much success and she was on the way to more, which makes it so sad. What got me hooked to Selena? For one thing, I'm learning Spanish because I love the language. And secondly, like one time scrolling through TV and then I was on BET and then boom, the Selena movie was playing and Jennifer Lopez was playing her. I got so drawn to her. And then from then on, I just got hooked. Like her music, everything is just amazing. So with this book, it's written by her husband, Chris Perez. He basically writes about their love story, how they met, how their relationship formed, how they fell in love. Oh, guys, they were in love. Like there was actually a point while reading this book, you actually think you're reading something fictional because it's like, y'all were in love. And it breaks my heart with how everything ended. I have no words to explain, like just the words that Chris uses to write about Selena. It's just like, you want someone to love you that much. Like, wow. I have always been a Nicola Yoon fan. To this day, one of my favorite books, Esan, is also a star. Brilliant book. And one of the themes she usually tackles in her books is family drama, specifically within a Black family. So whether it's like between siblings, child and parent, all that things, it's like those topics she usually explores. In this book specifically, you have Evie, who is facing a new part in her life that she wasn't expecting to go through. Her parents recently just got divorced and she's not taking it well, to the point where the things that she used to love doing, she no longer does them, like reading romance novels. And one day, Evie meets a stranger at the park who gives her a book called Instructions for Dancing that has an address on it. That address leads her to a dance studio where she meets X. With it being a romance novel, you all see what's going to happen between Evie and X. So her and X unwillingly enter this dance competition to help save the studio. Through this book, Evie goes through a lot of changes, not with just her family, but with herself and also relationship-wise. And it was a really good read. I enjoyed it. Don't want to go way into depth because I feel like if I say any more, I'm gonna spoil it. So if you want to know what happens to Evie and X, read it. I feel that my career path is a unique one. Like, I see where I want to go. Like, it's there. I see it. I envision it. It's on a damn freaking, what is this? A vision board. But the thing is, the route to getting there has been a difficult one. So usually I like to nitpick from like people who inspire me and like do something that I want to do in my life and see like, okay, how did you get there? So I can apply it into my life. And behold, Elaine Walters. I was watching one of her interviews and the way she was speaking about her career and all the things that she's achieved, I'm like, that's it. I pray that she wrote a book. And she did. She has a book. There are different women that I look up to career-wise, such as her and Issa Rae, Adrienne Houghton, and Shay Mitchell. Like, they all do things in their lives within their careers that I want to follow. So like, I constantly watch their interviews, and if they release books, I read them so that I can pick up as much knowledge as I can. And I'm excited for the read. I really am. I mean, do I even need to explain? It's Pauline Hoover. I'm going to read it. I may be emotionally damaged, but I'm gonna read it. Being an adult has been something. So this book is basically like an instruction guide on how to do it. Plus the cover was really cute and the title made me laugh because it's like almost adulting. Like in life, we never get it, like we almost get it, you know, kind of thing. Thought it was cute. And plus reading some of the chapter titles, like I need to read them. Hold on. Finding a decent date in an online world. Someone actually advocating long distance. romance. The moment I realized I was a grown-ass woman. An ode to my butt. I mean, if that doesn't sell you enough to read this, I don't know what else. Plus, I like comedy books, so any books that involve comedy, like a little bit of wit in there, I'm down for it. So Booktok has been raving about this book. So far what I know, it's a book series, like there's 3 books in total. With this one specifically, what I know about it is that there's a love interest who is black and it's a romance novel. I'm sold. And that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, my neighbors, I'm so sorry. If you guys have any book suggestions, comment down below. If you have read any of the books that I mentioned in the video, comment down below. If you like to read, comment down below. If you don't like to read, well, you're missing out on hallucinating on words. That's all I can say. Like, subscribe, follow me on my socials, and I will see you when I see you. Oh, Jesus, how am I gonna do that? This is too far. Thing is too far for me to do anything. Bye.